So as promised before, this is my top 10 N64 games video redone. And just like the original, I must make a disclaimer at the very beginning. This collection is based on my favorites and games that I grew up with and I enjoyed. So if you don't like it, please, I urge you to fuck your own face. That being said, kick back and enjoy. Probably the only single-player game I loved on the N64. Coming in at number 10, it's Doom 64. I don't know why the number at the end of it, as if it was part 64, but there you have it. Doom 64. You know, with this old-school man versus evil theme, you know, and it's massive, huge levels and crappy graphics. And speak of which, I'm actually glad they didn't doll it up or, you know, enhance the graphics for the N64 system. But, you know, they just kept it, you know, old school way, and it looks just perfect just the way it is. I really loved it. At number 9, I have Hafthorah 2. I absolutely fell in love with this game from the first time I played it. If you ask me, in my opinion, I think it was like a new age Doom because of the campaign levels are so large and so long to travel in, and the wild assortment of, you know, crazy weapons that you get. It was just so reminiscent of Doom. It just kind of stood in my head, but it is a great game in its own right, and it's, you know, it deserves the fucking respect. Awesome soundtrack, by the way, too. This has a very, very good soundtrack. I have a friend who put up the soundtracks on his site. I'll put a link there in the description so you can get the soundtrack. Good shit. A lot of drums in it. And nice bonus when you're playing campaign. You come across Redone and have very beautiful tits. Gotta love them. Man, I am not much for adventure games, but I really liked Force Gemini. This, I don't know how to categorize this game exactly, but this is basically a forgotten classic, if you ask me. This game was a lot of fun, but nobody was really talking about it because this game came out, I think, about the time that N64 started dying. But holy shit, this thing was awesome. I loved it. I actually loved the story. I actually made it all the way to the boss. Never beat the game, but I made it at least that far. But I had lots of fun playing as Zelda and little dog, and you know, this is just an awesome fucking thing. Of course, Rare and Nintendo had their hands in it, so it had to be fucking good, needless to say, and it came out to be a nice game. Just totally forgotten by many, so this is mine, number 8. Now, even though I'm no expert on the genre, and my favorite jet fighting game probably of all time is Air Combat for PlayStation, I surely loved Star Fox 64. It was so innocent and such a simple game. Anybody can pick it up and have a good time with it and then just enjoy it. I don't know one person personally who actually hated this game. It was just that much fun. I particularly enjoyed the multiplayer. You know, if you go into the campaign and the story mode, it's kind of cheesy and definitely geared towards children. But anybody can pick it up and have a good time with it, and I highly recommend it. I haven't much to say about it, but I mean, it definitely made my top 10. This is my number 7, Star Fox 64. At number 6, it's WCW versus NWO Revenge. The only way to play this game is with 4 people, everybody button matching, and everybody talking shit to each other. In a good way, not the kind that make you turn to fucking assholes and start fighting, for real, but enough to enjoy this fucking game. That's the only way to actually play it. I don't gotta say anything else, because it's just that good. Fuck the single player, never tried it, never cared for it. 4 people, button mashing, cursing, or having a good time, rather. That's it. Revenge, bitch. Totally and completely underrated. At my number 5, it's Swimback, Covert Operations. Now, I don't know what the gaming magazines and the gaming world was pushing at the time, but I personally have never read anything about this game. I never saw any previews, you know, pictures, and nothing like that. I found out this game existed because this little piece of shit I used to know owned it and brought it to my house one day, and we just started playing it. I just like, yo, this is a great game. It was the first third-person shooter I've ever played, and just totally said, yo, I gotta own this game. And of course I own it now, but wow, this game was awesome. I don't know why it was never pushed. They remade this thing up for PlayStation 2, I know, and it was just a piece of shit failure, but this one for the N64 was totally awesome. At number 4...
It's me, Mario!
But it's not the one most of you Mario fans are thinking about. I'm speaking of Mario Kart 64. Well, this one's pretty simple. You just drive around and you shoot random objects at your opponents. I suppose it's safe to assume that the creators had a simple formula in mind. Use colorful characters, the occasional, funny quotes with colorful levels, and you pretty much have a game that'll sell. And it sold millions, didn't it? For the record, although Super Mario 64 was very popular with just about everybody, it never really called me at all. I've seen people play it, I've watched it, and it never called me. It just seems too much of a kid game for my taste, but it seems like an alright game. I'll just never ever try it because it's just not my thing. Rounding up my top 3 is the game that sold me to shooters and made me never look back. Goldeneye 007. This game is the reason that action is my favorite genre of all video games, and ever since I played this game from the very, very first time, I just couldn't believe how fucking good it was. This game is amazing. Now, I had always been a fan of the James Bond film series, even though I was too young to understand most of them. But growing up and then finding out there was a game that actually did one of the movies justice was pretty damn awesome, even though it wasn't the best Bond film. This game just had it all. It had the action, it had the story that was very consistent with the movie. It was just an all-around great game. Nice graphics, a pretty cool soundtrack. If you want that, you have to go elsewhere to find it. But man, this game just fucking completely sold me. I cannot describe it. What made this game extra special is that for most GoldenEye fans such as myself, who are hardcore and into it, even after completing the missions and unlocking all the cheats and doing basically everything there is to do, you still find yourself going back into the missions and exploring certain areas and doing certain things, shooting random stuff, just for the hell of it. Because it was that addicting. For instance, I used to like to go around and shoot scientists in the hand so they can react and shoot right back at you. I used to just love doing that. And what's even crazy about it, even with these much more powerful gaming consoles out, many have tried to recreate the magic of GoldenEye, yet none of them have succeeded. This game was truly something special. Hence the honorable bronze medal. Well, by now you must be thinking to yourself, what can possibly be GoldenEye? Definitely gotta be something good. Well, it is. Like it or simply go fuck yourself, it's Battle Tanks Global Assault. This game is the ultimate young boy fantasy come to fucking life. How? Well, it's simple. You get to blow up every fucking thing in your path. And what young child would not like that? What young child with a dick, that is. Not to mention there's a special little weapon you can use in multiplayer called the nuke that allows you to annihilate every motherfucking thing around you, including yourself. Now that's cool. Yes, I know, I admit it, it's not a good story, and it's pretty mind-numbing when you think about it. But you know what? Sometimes you don't give a shit about no fucking story. Sometimes you just want to see things go fucking sky high, and that's what this game does. There was even a funny-ass commercial about it, featuring Snuggle. It's my runner-up, but a fantastic one at that. Battle Tanks Global Assault. Now it's time for the greatest game I've ever played on the N64 system. I'll let the intro do the talking. That's right, Perfect Dark was absolutely incredible. It had everything. Co-op campaign, counter-op campaign, graphics, sound, music, huge customizable multiplayer, bots with changeable personalities, shitloads of weapons, challenges, maps, scenarios, music that you can customize as well. This was fucking GoldenEye on steroids. Now, even though there are many shooters on the next-gen consoles, nothing has replaced Perfect Dark as my favorite game of all time. And that's including the piece of shit known as Perfect Dark Zero, which is a fucking disgrace to the name Perfect Dark. Its only two minor flaws is the fact that it requires an expansion pack to fully enjoy the game, and the fact that you get stuttering frame rate when you walk through smoke, and that's with the expansion pack. Needless to say, when I found out it was going to be released on the Xbox 360, I was really excited. Had the Microsoft points ready to go and everything. The X Live version was excellent. The only problem with it was that fucking really shitty online multiplayer and the controls, which weren't bad, but definitely could have been a lot better. Particularly the aiming. All that aside, it was a damn good remake. So Perfect Dark is my #1 greatest N64 game of all time. So that's my top 10. Here's a few other games that I really enjoyed playing, but just really didn't make the cut for me. Okay, now, so as I end my video, I just want to state that I grew up with a lot of multiplayer games, and I always had the privilege of having someone to play with. Okay, so those of you who are expecting Zelda and Mario, you're at a loss because, unfortunately, single-player games were just not my thing, with the exception of Doom, that is. So yeah, leave me some feedback, I would appreciate it. Shitheads will be dealt with, of course, because I know you assholes are out there. And whether you liked the video or you hated it, I still thank you for the view, and peace out. This is Geo. Later.